Hey guys, what's up? I got a new DVD Blu-ray collection update, and I got a couple posters. This time I'm going to save the posters for last, because last time getting those posters out at the beginning was too much. So I'm going to start with the two minor titles I just kind of grabbed randomly. The first one is, I hope I don't mispronounce this guy's last name, is a film from Sam Salerno, I guess, is how you pronounce the last name. I apologize if I mispronounced it. But he sent me a screener copy of his feature film, The Darkside of the Womb, which I covered on my channel, and if you want to see my review of it, the link's in the description. Also, the link to purchase this film is in the description. It's, like I said, Darkside of the Womb. He's self-distributing it, which, you know, is very noble, is very kind of noble and, maybe noble isn't the right word. Maybe, I don't want to say ballsy either. It's just a very kind of, like, it's a confident thing to do, I would say. Yeah, so it's a fairly simple, like, case. Nothing too special. When I ordered this for like $10, it's like $10 with shipping, which is not bad at all, because this movie is legitimately fun. It's also available to watch on Amazon streaming. You don't even have to have Prime. You can watch it with ads. But if you do have Prime, it's on Amazon Prime. But when I ordered this, it says there's a special surprise inside. I'm like, what could the special surprise be? And then I fucking opened the case and laughed my ass off. The special surprise is a fucking picture of a grown man breastfeeding another grown man, and it's if you've seen the film, you'll get what this is like. You'll kind of get who these characters are, I guess, or who these actors are. You'll get it because they're featured in the film. But it's kind of funny to see that, and the disc itself is got the clown on it, the clown from this movie on it. Darkside of the Womb, pretty good independent, low budget horror comedy. Really entertaining, really entertaining movie. Next is a Massacre Video title. I do plan on hitting up the Massacre Video sale, the Black Friday sale, if they have it again. I hope they have it again. Because I'm missing about 6 titles in the DVD catalog, and then I will own the entire DVD catalog up to this point. And I want to keep it that way. But this is one that, for some reason, you can't buy it on their site anymore. It's City in Panic. I have the slipcover. I have the slip turned around because I like the reverse artwork, which has the original title of the film on it, which is, as you can see, the AIDS murders. Look, how can I hear about a movie released by Massacre of all companies that is a Canadian giallo slasher film? It's a Canadian giallo slasher film from the 80s, and the original title of the film is The AIDS Murders. I will admit, though, the new artwork on the outside is also very nice, as always with Massacre. They usually have some pretty good original artwork when they do it. But, well, new artwork when they do it. The original artwork they usually use for the slit, for the reverse side, is always really good. Like, the reverse cover for Black Past, I almost wanted to swap it over because I love the original VHS kind of cover of Black Past so much, but their new artwork is great. But yeah, City in Panic, also known as the AIDS Murders, from Massacre. I'm pretty sure this is like Massacre. The spine number's 25. So this came out before Women's Flesh, My Red Guts. It came out before that. Let me grab a couple other titles. I hit up the Criterion sale that fucking Barnes & Noble is running, because I try to hit up that sale every year, because I think Criterion titles are overpriced. I've talked about this so many times. I think they're overpriced, but when they have this 50% off sale, you can sometimes find good deals. One of the first titles I got is Terry Gilliam's Brazil from 1985. If you've never seen Brazil and you are a fan of like 1984, if you're a fan of dystopian films, this is definitely one to check out. The specifically the Criterion release, because it has the final director's cut of the film, which is the way it was meant to be seen as a 2.5 hour long film. The theatrical cut, which was like cut by 20 minutes, I think it was cut by about 20 minutes, is available on Blu-ray from Universal, who owns the film. But this is the only way to get the extended cut, the perfect cut of this film, mind you. If you don't know about this film, it's essentially 1984, but mix in a little kind of Charlie Chaplin, like, slapstick, a little bit of just crazy kind of almost like Metropolis-esque, not esque, but like definitely inspired by Metropolis, kind of sets and design and like cityscapes and everything. It's throw some of that in there, throw some Jodorowsky weirdness, shit. You have Brazil, and also Terry Gilliam's just absolute fucking madness. If you don't know about Terry Gilliam, he directed a little movie, which is another movie it's a movie that's one of my favorites. He directed Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which is an immensely weird movie about Hunter S. Thompson, which Hunter S. Thompson is like one of my heroes. But Terry Gilliam film, Brazil, really good. Honestly, a near perfect film. The plot is a little thin at times, but the characters are interesting. It's a very, very funny movie, and it's very, very interesting to watch. This next one is one that Criterion is actually... I would have gotten the Blu-ray Brazil, too, if they would have had it for a decent price, but it was either pay, $25 for the Blu-ray or $15 for the DVD. I'd rather pay $15. And this next one is one that Criterion has yet to put on Blu-ray, and I could probably understand why. It's a Sweet Movie from 1974. If you don't know about Sweet Movie, let me tell you, this film is like a combination of a Jodorowsky film and a John Waters film. If that sounds interesting to you, see it. It is a Yugoslavian drama, comedy, mystery, exploitation art film that consists of two segments. The first segment being about a woman who wins this like beauty pageant, and she marries this rich guy, and she eventually decides she doesn't love him, and she leaves him, and she ends up becoming part of this commune of just freaks, and there's a giant food orgy, and it's really gross. And then the second segment is about a communist woman who lives on this boat that's full of candy and sweets, and she lures people on onto the boat in order to convert them to communism, and it goes all over the place. It's a really crazy, fucked up movie. It's very sexually explicit, mind you. I don't want to talk about the very infamous scene, but if you do a little bit of research into the film, you'll find out why this film is so infamous. But it's still a great movie, really good kind of political art film. I honestly really do like Sweet Movie. I think it's a really interesting film. Then I got some Blu-rays. I got Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai on Blu-ray, which this is like the fucking deluxe. Like, oh, the beauty of Jesus Christ. The beauty of this release cannot be fucking understated. It's a very nice release of a very great film. I watched Seven Samurai quite recently after wanting to see it for so long. And for a movie that's 3.5 hours from 1954 in Japanese, it is a very compelling, interesting, funny, nihilistic film. And it's honestly it's become one of my like at least top 100 favorites. I don't think I could say anything else about Seven Samurai that hasn't already been said. But on this release specifically, one of the special features is a 2-hour video conversation from 1993 between Akira Kurosawa, the director of Seven Samurai, and Oshima Nagisa, which, if those of you who aren't familiar with him, he directed a little film also released by Criterion called In the Realm of the Senses, which is a film that is one of my favorite films of all time. But he directed In the Realm of the Senses, Empire of Passion, Violence at Noon, A Street of Love and Hope, The Sun's Burial, Three Resurrected Drunkards. He has directed quite a few movies I've seen and I really like. And so to have this, director who is amazing, who I'm not super familiar with, have a video conversation, 2-hour long, essentially, conversation between a director I'm not super familiar with and a director I'm very familiar with at this point is kind of amazing, and I do think it's great. A great special feature. Next, I'll just do like the less extravagant one next. It's Guillermo del Toro's The Devil's Backbone on Blu-ray. I remember watching this one like 3 years ago and really liking it. I haven't seen it since, but I've always wanted to grab the Criterion release. If you don't know about this, it's essentially Guillermo del Toro's film he made before he made Hellboy and made it a bit big in Hollywood. It's before he made the Pan's Labyrinth and kind of proved that he is a great filmmaker. And honestly, I love Guillermo del Toro. I'm kind of a del Toro fanboy. I really love almost every single movie he's put out that I've seen. I really enjoy. This one is a legitimately haunting ghost film. I really do. I really like this movie. Not as much as Pan's Labyrinth, but it's kind of a gothic-inspired horror film. It's very slow, atmospheric, tension building. I really like it. It's great. I think people should definitely see this film. It's quite the film, honestly. Also, I'd like to mention that when it comes to Criterion titles, every company numbers their fucking releases on the spine, so you know which. So if you want to put them in order, you can, I guess. But the number for this release specifically of The Devil's Backbone, I don't think you can really make it out there, but god damn it. Okay, can't really make it out, but it's 666. The spine number for The Devil's Backbone is 666, and that's just great. And finally, last but most certainly not least, one of my favorite movies of all time. A film that when Criterion said they were releasing it, I was like on the fucking edge of my seat, like, oh, I gotta get this, and then I kind of didn't buy it. It's David Lynch's Eraserhead. Eraserhead, oh my god. Do I even need to talk about Eraserhead? It's too good of a film to even try to explain why it's amazing. I'm just gonna say right now, this Blu-ray release of Eraserhead is like a perfect fucking release. One of the best examples of why I like Criterion, because sometimes they'll do a really nice release like this and it won't be super expensive. This release on Amazon is like $22. That's not bad at all. Very much worth all the content you're getting out of it. But to charge, a lot more for something that has no features, I think that's kind of a shitty thing for them to do. Again, I'm fucking talking about nothing. It's Eraserhead. If you haven't seen Eraserhead and you like surreal films, see it. I'm sure you have. Most people who are into surreal cinema have seen Eraserhead. This film also comes with a bunch of short films that David Lynch made in the 60s and 70s, specifically Six Men Getting Sick, The Alphabet, The Grandmother, The Amputee, and The Premonitions Following an Evil Deed. And I've seen all of them except for the last one. And out of those, the best one is probably The Grandmother, which he made in 1970. And it was 30 minutes long, and you could see how he went from making The Grandmother to Eraserhead. They're very similar in their kind of dark, surreal styles, and I really liked The Grandmother. I'm happy I watched it, and I'm happy I own this release. This is a very nice release. Onto the fucking posters. God damn. I'm talking too much. Oh, these next two were gifts from people. These, I don't know the fucking artist who did these, but I wish I did, because I would really link him in the description, because he's pretty good. But it's two prints of horror posters, fan posters. And it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which, I kind of like the simplistic art, fan art posters. I really like those kinds of posters. I think they're pretty interesting to look at when they're done correctly. I really like, that. I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's one of my favorite movies. But another one of my favorite movies is the John Waters trash classic fucking Pink Flamingos. And I'm beyond happy to have this one. This one is fucking awesome. I love Pink Flamingos so much. It's quite an amazing piece of exploitation cinema. Let me just roll these back up, put them back in their fucking sleeve, and then I'll get on to the final fucking poster, and I will end this video God damn, this video is long. Alright, put it back in the fucking tube with the other prints and posters and stuff to get fucking frames for. Jesus Christ, this is a mess. This final poster is another gift from my good friend, who I guess will remain nameless because he doesn't like his name to be put out there. Which I can get that. I can totally get that. If this, oh no. No, not today. Fuck it. I'm just gonna slide it off. He works at a movie theater, and we saw the film Darren Aronofsky's Mother together. And Mother, I reviewed on my channel. This is another one that I really liked. It's a film from this year I really liked, and I think it might be one of the best horror films of this year. But he works at a movie theater, and he got me. He was able to snag me a fucking poster for Mother, which is, oh my god, it's pretty fucking big, and it's a nice poster too. I really like it. So I plan on getting a frame for this because this is a pretty nice poster. It's got a little bit of you know, wear on the edges, but that's nothing, you know, nothing that can't be protected once you get it in a frame. So yeah, I'm gonna totally fucking frame this one. Oh god, no. I'm just gonna fucking end it here because this is gonna be a bitch to try and get this string back around it. So anyway guys, this is Biscaboo Horror Reviews, signing off. Peace.